good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. We're here to tell you all the news you need to hear before the weekend, so you don't have to worry about it. And that means do not look at the news. Don't even doom scroll through any news at all during the weekend, because we got you covered on Monday. So don't even pay attention to it, okay? You have my permission to not know what the hell's going on. This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before we started. We've just got caffeine in our bodies, and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those Friday headlines and spin that segue wheel. I almost said yoga wheel. We're not doing yoga during the show. The coffee's hitting a little too hard
Let's
today.
do it.
Today on Friday's News Dump. Veggie burgers are here to stay. Lab-grown steaks never will be. The EU is changing how they're going to call new vegan meat. Also, Kosovo faces third election in a year as president dissolves parliament. Sounds like everything's going great there.
Greetings on Friday from the United States, where Christy Gnome is out as DHS secretary, fired for lying to Congress. Let's see, what is this here? Accused of lying to Congress by Donald Trump?
You would know nothing about that.
Yeah.
Russia accuses Ukraine of drone attack as gas tanker sinks in the Mediterranean. Goodbye. How the Black Death led to plant diversity plummeting across Europe.
Yeah, so we have two stories involving senators from Montana. And in one day, both of them just look like complete idiots.
And in my culture news, did I just hear what I thought I heard? Sinner's Delroy Lindo on Bapt N-word controversy finally breaks the silence of what happened.
And so it's International Day of the Dude. I don't know if it's international, but you know, the dude abides, and that's like your opinion, man. For March 6th, 2026, I'm Before Coffee.
What is Christy Gnome's new position, Chrono? I believe it's missionary. I was holding on to that joke for way too long and had to tell it as soon as we came back.
I believe she's anything but a missionary girl, if I wanted to call it. Yeah, if I wanted to say.
What was Christy Gnome the one who's giving blowjobs in the movie theater, or is that a different woman?
Oh, that was a congressperson. That wasn't a secretary of. She was the one that shot her dog. Remember?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I should have said doggy style, but I think that's a little too close. That's a little too easy, right? Oh, no, she's killed her dog. Aha, doggy style. Yeah, that one was a little too easy for me.
She also has a bloodthirst problem because she immediately grabbed a goat and shot that too. Hey, I didn't kill enough things today. So yeah, she's a psycho.
There are people who are like that, right? I can't solve a problem, just kill it. That's true. I mean, that's what they do with plants, right? Oh, we can't get her. Just kill everything.
Besides murdering people, she was stealing money. So that's a real sin to Trump. So murdering people.
I mean, if you're going to be a lackey for a demagogue, you might as well steal money from him. Whatever. We're acting like these people have morals. They have no morals.
Don't forget, she was mentoring Corey Landowski, famous psycho weirdo in the Republican Party, former congressman, who was a special assistant or some shit. Anyway, that's the guy she was. And there's text messages out there where she was calling the U.S. government specialized flying around the country jet for the Department of Homeland Security. Christy Gnome was calling it the flying fuck box. So I'm not sure if Corey Landowski comes with a flying fuck box, But I'm sure Mark Wayne Mullen is the new guy. He's going to find out sooner or later. He'll get confirmed because he's an actual sitting senator. They took a guy out of the Senate to do
that's
this.
amazing.
By the way, the least qualified senator of the whole bunch.
But I'm sure we can talk about this more when we get to your story. So let's roll the segue wheel, talk about my stuff, and then we can talk more about this.
Maybe he'll unclog Corey Landowski's pipe. I got a new name for
You're going to have to tell me a joke. Tell me a joke about veggie burgers not being called veggie burgers anymore and Kosovo having a third election in a year. So, you know, it's normal it's normal stuff. I tried to get some stories here that are like kind of neutral. Unless you hate vegans, I guess the story isn't neutral, you know? Like I have 2 neutral stories, 2 like the world's ending stories, and then my culture segment, okay? So the first story is... Huh, sorry?
What'd I spend? What'd you spend?
Tell
You
me a
said a lot
joke.
of words there. What did I spend? Okay, I thought so. Okay.
Lucia McKenzie and Bartosz Brzezinski report this from Politico. Scroll. Veggie burgers and vegan sausages can remain on European supermarket shelves, EU negotiators agreed yesterday on the 5th of March. However, only products made of animal flesh can use terms like steak or bacon, so no vegan bacon anymore in Europe. It's going to have to call it something else.
What?
Vegan slices. Vegan flesh. Unless that flesh was grown in a lab, in which case those terms are also off limits. So it can be meat, but if it was grown in a lab, it still cannot be called meat. Those are the broad contours of the compromise reached by the EU institutions after MEPs' sleeper initiative to block vegetarian alternatives from using terms associated with meat. Well, were the meat eaters like, oh, you lied to me! I've been tricked! This is a vegan burger, not a real burger! My life has changed forever. It's fine, it's fair, right? False advertising or something. The so-called veggie burger ban fueled political tensions over an otherwise technical farm file. It's definitely very technical. Well, technically, it's not burger because it's not made of meat. After months of debate, institutional negotiators agreed on new rules that would ban vegetarian products from using dozens of terms that are typically associated with meat, including chicken, ribs, bacon, tenderloin, liver, and steak. Oh, my cauliflower liver isn't good enough for you? Cauliflower liver. There are nearly not enough nutrient. Who's making vegan liver? You know how much nutrients is in a liver? Somebody just like putting an entire like medicine section inside of something and saying vegan liver. Take all these pills.
Vegan liver makes no sense whatsoever. Why are we doing this? Food that people hate to taste in the first place. Let's make something that
who loves
tastes
liver
like
that much that they made it vegan? Liver is definitely an acquired taste. The deal still needs to be formally signed off.
Some onions. You get the same thing. You eat some onions.
The deal still needs to be formally signed off by the Parliament and EU member capitals. The fight exposed a deeper divide in Brussels' food politics. Consumer groups attacked the lengthy list of banned words as doing little to help people trying to make choices at the store. Consumers want to eat healthier and need convenient and affordable options, said BEUC Chief Augustine Reina. Meat-related names make it easy for those who want to integrate these options in their diets, and the new rules will increase confusion and are simply not necessary. Yeah, what's a vegan... I don't even... It would be nice if they told me what these new words are going to be. Because then I could tell a joke, right? You're supposed to be telling a joke. You have to make one up, I guess. Make up an alternative to the word ribs, but vegan. For pro-farmer lawmakers on the center-right and right, protecting meaty terminology became a symbolic show of support for livestock producers. Yeah, we know, it's political. Reeling from sinking profits and regulatory fatigue. Oh, those poor beef farmers. Instead of 1,000 cows, they can only have 20 cows. How will they live? Sorry. Wait. Technically, this counts. Sorry. This counts as Allie's ranting about farmers. Let me get angry at farmers. Okay. They cast themselves as bulwarks against a cosmopolitan push towards alternative proteins. Can we eat bugs yet? Are we eating crickets yet?
Bulwarks.
Greens and liberals, meanwhile, dismiss the debate as political theater aimed at farm constituencies. Yeah. arguing it distracts from structural challenges in the food chain and clashes with Brussels' competitive rhetoric. Oh no! This is a non-story story. You know, negotiators only agreed that veggie sausages and burgers can continue to exist. But no veggie ribs, okay? What's a veggie rib? The stalks on a broccoli? I have to say, right? Line up your broccoli stalks, put some barbecue sauce on it. Here's your ribs. Honestly, I love broccoli, so I wouldn't even mind dipping my broccoli stalks in some barbecue sauce. As the French MP behind the terminology ban, Céline Imart, hailed the outcome as indisputable victory for our farmers. Whatever makes you sleep well at night, Céline. The agreement, she added, recognizes the value of farmers' work and protects their products, which are the result of unique expertise, against a form of unfair competition. Imart, a grain farmer, also pushed for protections to extend the cell-cultured products, i.e. meat grown in labs, which he previously described as a threat to traditional agriculture. Oh no, traditional agriculture, how will it survive? From frustrated lawmakers, the move takes Europe in the wrong direction, essentially kneecapping a nascent sector. It is absurd that we are attempting to regulate the naming of products that aren't even on the European market yet, the Greens' parliamentary negotiator on the file, Anna Strollenberg, told Politico, ahead of the Thursday's talks, March 4th, on cellular meat. Our signal to biotech pioneers is, don't build it in Europe, move abroad. The compromise comes after months of negotiations between the European Parliament and the Council and Commission over targeted changes to the bloc's Common Market Organization law. The original intent was to update detailed laws on contracts in the hopes of improving the position of farmers in the agri-food chain, following waves of protests. Yes. The farmers are angry, and they're being paid to be angry by corporations. However, when the proposal reached Parliament, Imart, the European People's Party MEP, leading negotiations on the file, pushed for the inclusion of a list of meaty terms that would be off-limits to veggie copycats.
Meaty.
That's why this is called This is why this is called, what were we calling it again? A ghost law or a silent law, right? They're sneaking it in under a bigger law. They're like, oh, put this on an addendum on the bottom of the law, you know, put this in there. You can't use those words. That quickly became a most hotly debated element as capitals scrambled to agree on common red lines. In the end, a similar list proposed by the Commission for future change to the CMO from 28 onward was used as the basis of negotiations. The terms on this list were more narrow references to cuts and types of meat, rather than the catch-all term like burger and sausage. So no more cauliflower New York strips. You're not allowed to use those terms, I guess, in Europe. Yes, meaty terms indeed, Yin. That was a pun. You're correct. All right, enough jokes about this. Give me something. Give me something about this.
It all started with turkey bacon. Come on, there ain't no bacon in turkey. My joke is, why did the tofu cross the road?
Because it wasn't fried?
No, to prove he wasn't chicken. Thank you.
I'm speechless. I'm laughing silently. Okay. Yes. I love fried tofu, by the way. Shout out to fried tofu. Uh-huh. Next story. And tempanade. I love tempanade. And I'm not even a vegan. Next story is some more serious news. Kosovo is having its third election within a year. And the president is dissolving parliament completely, which is not a good sign. This is from Vatos by TC on The Independent. Kosovo's president, Vjosa Osmani, has dissolved parliament and called for snap elections, following politicians' failure to elect a new head of state within the constitutional deadline. The move plunges Europe's youngest nation, which harbors aspirations to join the European Union, deeper into political uncertainty. Parliament had until midnight yesterday, the 5th of March, to choose a president before Ms. Osamani's term concludes in April, and they failed. However, opposition parties refused to participate in the vote, a decision that, under Balkan countries' law, automatically triggers a fresh parliamentary election. I don't like any of you fuckers. Vote some new people in. The latest development extends a protracted political deadlock in Kosovo, which saw no functioning government for much of 25 due to a fractured parliament unable to elect a speaker for months. These poor people in Kosovo are like, hey, can we fix these potholes already? I don't care anymore. The upcoming vote will mark the third election in just over a year, following a snap election held on the 28th of December after a previous poll failed to form a government. Ms. Osamani said, "A parliament that cannot elect a president cannot continue to indefinitely drag out the process as is being attempted. No one should wish for another political cycle, especially at this moment when the country needs stability." Ms. Osamani is scheduled to meet with political parties today, which she probably already has because it's freaking 6 p.m. or 4 or 5 p.m. I don't know what time it is there, 9 p.m. in Kosovo, to determine a date for the new elections. A decisive victory for Prime Minister Albin Kurti's Veggie party in December had initially been seen as a potential end to this stalemate. At the time, many political analysts anticipated that the opposition would participate in the presidential vote, and then they didn't. They didn't participate. However, despite Veggie securing enough seats for to form a government, it failed to gain the necessary opposition support to elect a president. Opposition parties have demanded consensual candidate, while Mr. Kurti has put forward his foreign minister, Glauk Konjufaca. A former Serbian province, Kosovo declared independence in 2008 following a 1998-99 war that ended after a US-led NATO intervention, which pissed a lot of people off. Why are we doing this? I don't know. Serbia does not recognize a split, and tensions have simmered ever since. There's your drama, your Kosovo drama, short and sweet. I hope they get this together somehow. I feel bad for them. It's really tough being a young country, you know? They're not only 10 years old. Really. They're almost 20 years old.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't really have a joke about the Balkans. Did you know a parliament of... There's a gathering of birds called a parliament. Did you know that? Anyway, I forget which birds it was. Maybe you know. Anyway, I guess the only thing I can think of for this is... why George Clinton is still around. If you don't know who George Clinton is, he's still around. He's still alive. He's 84. I looked it up. How come George Clinton is never in Parliament? That was the name of his band. I mean.
Oh right,
he had two bands.
The meme,
Parliament and Funkadelic, right? Parliament and Funkadelic. So my joke is, let's just put George Clinton in Parliament. Why not? Anyway, George Clinton, they basically invented.
I like George Clinton.
He was the funk. He was the funk of the 70s, George Clinton.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane bass player too. Bootsy Collins.
Also, good morning, Tommy. Happy Not Thursday. Thank you for your 5-stream streak.
Not a joke.
And I hope the soup's looking good today as well.
The best pun I could come up with was related to birds, and it said, "The Parliament, most foul indeed." So I said, what group of birds is called the Parliament? Do you know that one?
Let's roll a next segue for your stories, which are some good news, or maybe not so good news, depending on your perspective. I'm going to tell you a joke about
not a whole lot.
Shooting your own dog instead of taking it to the vet, I guess. Take it away.
Owls, a group of owls. A group of owls is called a parliament. There you go. I could have told an owl
That's
joke,
fun.
which I did. I said,
who is in parliament? Okay.
Who made that law?
I'm gonna count
one,
that.
Nice. I'm just gonna turn the show over to you and go back to sleep. All right, so Christy Gnome.
I'm gonna count that as me making a bad joke. Okay.
Yeah. One story was sourced by just reading Twitter or Truth or whatever social media, which to me is like lazy reporting. So we'll do the other story. Axios has this one. Mark Caputo and Brittany Gibson, how the ice finally broke under Christy Gnome, pun intended. Sneaky the Clown fired Homeland Security Advisor Christy Gnome on Thursday after he consulted allies and advisors. All of whom said, yeah, there's a bus over there. It's moving. Throw her under it. She burnt up a ton of goodwill. An advisor who spoke with Trump told Axios, it was everywhere. It was everything. Goodwill. I'm sorry. That is one.
Goodwill? I don't even know him.
Chick. I'm sorry. I'm not necessarily caught up on people's appearances, but she gets it's like, does she think it's attractive to like have her face way more than the rest of her head? Like there's a reason that South Park has her face melting all the time. It doesn't seem like it's a real face. It just seems like it was painted on to cover up a lot of mistakes or something, right? And I'm sorry, not an appearance. I don't care. She's a Nazi. Fuck her. She burnt up a ton of goodwill. An advisor who spoke with Trump told Axios, goodwill, she had goodwill. Who had goodwill towards this witch? She's a puppy slayer. The first time most people heard of her, by the way, was the puppy story. I never heard of her before that. And she was the governor of a state. I never heard of her before that. Why it matters. Trump's firing of Gnome was the biggest personal shakeup of the second term. It showed the backlash against her was so great that Trump was willing to dismiss the nation's domestic security chief as domestic. What a titling of this incompetent fuck. The ice under Gnome was getting thinner and thinner even before this week. The metaphorical ice, not the agency she was, agency of jackbooted thugs wearing masks, those assholes. When she made two humiliating appearances, yeah. Like I'm saying, they're never going to call Mark Wayne to be humiliated because he's a dude. They're only going to do this to women. I'm telling you. What did they do? They called Hillary Clinton for the Epstein files. He wasn't even involved. What the hell? If you're gonna call women, call the victims. Anyway, back to the story. During these public sessions, Noam was subject to let's pronounce her name wrong. Who gives a shit? Was subject to bipartisan probing about alleged mismanagement of DES, her self-promotion at huge taxpayer expense, and even a rumored extramarital affair. A totally true.
I wish I could self-promote myself. That sounds like a great gig.
With her de facto chief of staff. What's that?
I wish I could self-promote myself.
Get $200 million from the government. You can do it. Okay. The government giving away money if you're head of a department, no questions asked, because we got an incompetent buffoon in charge who doesn't realize that people are spending money like crazy under him and faking his signature. Who knows what they're doing underneath his, right? He don't care. He can barely keep alert about anything. He can't, the dude can't see past his own belly button, first of all. Anyway, back to this malfeasance. The rumored extramarital affair with her de facto chief of staff, Corey Lewandowski. Now, this is not a rumored affair. If it was a rumored affair, when the U.S. Congress member would have asked her under oath, are you having an affair? She would have said, no, right? Because she didn't say no.
Yeah.
She didn't say yes. She didn't answer the question. It's very simple. No. Again, she didn't say no because she would have been lying, and you go to jail for that shit. Theoretically, you do. I'm not sure anybody goes to jail in the Republican Party anymore. Under oath, Gnome refused to deny an affair. She refused to deny. Refusal to deny is a confirmation. Don't forget we did a story about the United States representative from Texas, right? And his girlfriend, alleged liaison, what do you want, tryst fair woman, set herself on fire, right? That guy? Yeah. He's decided he's not going to run for re-election after the primary now, but he's not resigning, right? Dude, if you're a scumbag now, get the hell out now. Don't wait till the end of the year to get out. Leave now. Anyway, back to the story and how Republicans just don't even get that. Like, you resign now, not when you feel like it. That's just bullshit. Gnome recently, let's do this again, and we'll do some more malfeasance of her. Gnome recently drew scrutiny from administration officials and congressional leaders after spending deportations funds to buy 2 luxury Gulfstream jets and leasing a Boeing business jet 737, which Gnome said would be used for extensive air travel for deportations. But the 737's luxurious interior with a bedroom and bar on board would make it unlike any other plane used to deport unauthorized immigrants. Gnome and Lewandowski then lent the 737 to Melania Trump, who used it on several flights from D.C. and New York. The First Lady's office didn't respond to requests of comment. Whatever, anybody can use anybody's assets. We're all in one big happy family in the government here. We have no paperwork to file. We'll just do shit on the fly. Whatever, man. I wish I could have done that in the government, man. I would have never got fired. I could have walked in, if I was in the government now, I could walk in, steal money, right in front of people, stuff in my pockets, walk out, money bulging all my pockets. What? I didn't do any money. Oh yeah, he's innocent. I mean, seriously, you clowns are fucking ridiculous. How the hell is anybody getting away with this shit? Yeah, I know that plane belongs to DHS. We're gonna fly it with First Lady around in it. You know, the Air Force has got a lot of aircraft, right? That's just a thought. They're smart. Korea is really smart. I don't take that away from them. This is from somebody in the administration. Because they flew the First Lady on it, they think they're bulletproof, an administrative official said. Calling the move to involve the First Lady in an insurance
it's covered
policy
under, we used it for government use at one time.
Yeah,
so
not your fault. Exactly. Again, there is a whole department in charge of First Lady's travel, okay? It's not the fucking Department of Homeland Security. Planned costs of the 3 planes, more than $270 million, making it the world's worst deal to buy an aircraft. Yep, an administration official told Axios on Saturday. $270 million for 3 airplanes, one of them used. Trump was made aware of the situation, another official said, spoke with Lewandowski this week about him, and no one moving on. Okay, I guess they fired Lewandowski again, so he doesn't come with the plane. It was a positive call, the official said. The plane deal and congressional hearings were final demerits for Noam, whose reputation in Trump's eyes had been taking a beating after handling immigration crackdown. Minneapolis was just a disaster. We were supposed to be stopping fraud from Somalian illegals, which is complete horseshit. That's something that never fucking... That thing has already happened years ago. That story was a bogus story to begin with by some kid who's not a reporter or doesn't even know what words mean. Anyway, they go there for some bullshit fraud and then they end up shooting people in the street. And this week's hearings, Noam also struggled to explain why FEMA money meant for disaster relief last year was still held up. Yeah, she's supposed to be in charge of FEMA, Federal Emergency Management. She fucks that up too by stealing money. She had no goodwill at Capitol Hill. She mismanaged FEMA. She didn't show up to hearings. She was disrespectful.
She didn't do her job at all. And she just stole money, embezzled money. That's what it sounds like. Thoroughly unlikable human being. But hey, I guess that Corey likes it. Of course, Corey will just move on to the next chick with a fake face, right? And don't forget, she's married. She's nominally married with 4 kids. Don't forget, she was murdering her kids' puppies. That's her kids' puppies she was murdering. Still married. Her husband was sitting behind her in those hurries. If you want to watch something, let's watch the videos of her husband's face. They're like, oh my God. Oh my God, I gotta go back to the farm in South Dakota and murder some puppies to get over this. White House officials hope Noam's firing could help break a congressional logjam. No, that's the funding isn't about her. It's about you shooting people, motherfucker. Wearing masks. Hello. Speaking of the cloud, quickly tapped Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. That's right. His first name is Mark Wayne. Mark Wayne sounds like a name for a racehorse. I've got Mark Wayne in the 3rd race at 9-1. Yeah, yeah. I got Mark Wayne. That's the 3rd race. You're so funny today.
So Mark Wayne.
I mean, you're usually funny, but you're like extra funny today.
Yeah, I'm funny looking anyway. But where's my glasses?
Is that the end of your story?
No.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. Now that we've appointed a racehorse to be in charge of Department of Homeland Security, Seattle Slew has been appointed to the head of the Secretary of Horse. No, that's a joke. Democrats quickly dismissed the idea that Noam leaving was enough to earn their votes. Democrats are complaining about Noam. Now she's gone, administration. They think the problem was her. No.
Yeah, that will
the
fix
symptom
everything.
of the problem. That's not the problem. The problem is your age is going kicking indoors. When that stops, maybe we can fund your stupid little fun little party. But until that stops, stop violating people's rights and stop shooting people. It has nothing to do with Christy Gnome. I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure Christy Gnome did the, let's make their training and say, let's 6 weeks of training. Why do you need 6 weeks of training? Actually, you don't even get 6 weeks of training. Was it 47 days? So what is that? How many days is that? 47? So you don't even get
like a month and a half, I guess, because 45 days would be 15.
That's 6 weeks.
Right, so 30 days plus 15, a month and a half.
Yeah. They're the least trained federal officers, and they're not given anywhere near the weapons training they need, and most of them are unqualified for any federal law enforcement. That's why they're nice. And all that stuff is an issue that's got to be fixed before they do anything else. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any difference. If Mark Wayne, like I said before, I guess they spelled out in the story, Corey Lewandowski was being reassigned too, right? So he doesn't come with the plane. Otherwise, Mark Wayne would have Corey and the flying fuck box. But
for sure,
Corey Lewandowski and the flying fuck box. Just before dismissing her Tuesday with a face-saving newly created administration post, Stinky the Clown told Reuters, I never knew anything about the ad campaign, which Senator John Kennedy said was self-aggrandizing because how it featured Noam. Yeah, because we're going to play that video later about maybe. The Republican Senator John Kennedy asking her about her $200 million video that she had, and she bid it out to a company that only existed for 8 days, that just was created by one of her staff. Like, just self-dealing. Just self-dealing.
Not even trying,
giving
man.
$200 million to staff to make a video, right? Yeah. To make a video. And guess who's featured prominently in the video? Yeah. Guess who's featured? Christy Gnome is featured prominently in a video to where it looks like a Christy Gnome 28 for president video, right? That's exactly what it looks like at government expense. And not bid out fairly in a bidding contract, fairly, and she lied about it. She lied about it to Congress when she said the president approved it, and that's why Trump fired her. Long story short, she said Trump signed and approved the $200 million thing. Trump said, hey, I just found me a reason to fire this bitch. There it is right there. She's lying about me. Don't lie about him. Anyway, that's hilarious. Everything she did, he gave him a pass. Lying about Trump, not so much. And she's being assigned to she wasn't totally fired. She was being assigned to some bullshit position he just created. It amounts to the head of the flower picking committee for the winter festival, something useless like that.
Yeah, that's a better way to do it.
Not a lot of flowers in the winter, You got poinsettias and nothing.
Well, there are some though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that the name?
That's it, man. That's my story.
All right,
yeah, it,
I've got three jokes for you. They're all dog related because it's like easy pickings. It's easy pickings. I guess her dog had the last bark.
Ah. Yeah, that's good.
I guess you could say that she was thrown under a greyhound heading out of town.
Hold on a second. That's pretty good. Yeah. I hope that bus was a greyhound.
Dalmatians everywhere said this really hit the spot.
That's right.
Also,
it's funny because it's true.
Freaking Gandalf said game over. He's like, get off the stage. Gandalf's like, leave. Those jokes are so bad.
It's really funny.
Slap sneak, yuck.
Yeah, Cricket the puppy is in doggy heaven, wagging her tail right now.
Oh dear.
Wag Cricket.
Oh dear. Also, I want to say hello
yesterday.
to Lily and Z, who came during your story, said hello in chat.
Hey.
So good morning, happy Friday.
And, I wanted to point out that Cricket was Cricket the puppy that she murdered in cold blood.
Yeah.
She probably woke up that day deciding to murder pets. I'm totally convinced. Let's kill
Yeah,
all
totally.
the animals. She's like reverse Noah, right? Anyway.
Let's roll our segue for our next stories.
Well, let me finish my story. Did you know
okay.
Christy Gnome she was only 14 months into her term, and Cricket was only 14 months old. What an ironic twist.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So both of them put out after 14 months.
Okay.
I don't know how old the smelly goat she shot was, but don't forget the goat.
Well, lucky for you, the next segue is sarcasm, which you live inside of sarcasm, so it'll be an easier one. Gandhi's already being sarcastic, I see. Sarcasm, great.
Chasm that's open full of sar.
Indeed. My next story is coming out of Russia, as one of their gas tankers has sunk to the bottom of the Mediterranean. Woohoo! Yeah! Get fucked, Russia. This is from Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
A Russian tanker carrying liquefied natural gas, LNG, has sunk into the Mediterranean between Libya and Malta as Moscow accused Ukraine of attacking the vessel. Well, that's their prerogative. You're literally invading them. The Libyan port authorities said the tanker was hit by sudden explosions, following it by a massive fire, which ultimately led to its complete sinking on Tuesday, which was the 3rd of March, night north of the port of Sirte, Libya. Russian President Vladimir Putin, Russian dictator is what I like to call him, accused Ukraine of attacking the gas carrier. This is a terrorist attack. This is the first time we've seen this kind of thing, Russia's Putin told a reporter from Russia's state television on Wednesday, which was the 3rd? No, the 4th. The 4th of March, accusing Kyiv of responsibility. There was no immediate comment from Ukraine because don't give Putin any of your freaking attention. Russia's transport ministry said the Arctic Metagaz, which had been carrying LNG from Arctic port of Murmansk, was attacked by Ukraine naval drones launched from the coast of Libya. It said that the 30 crew members, all Russian nationals, were safe and thanked Maltese rescue services. Good. I'm glad they weren't killed because it's not their fault Putin invaded Ukraine. As far as I know. I doubt anybody who is responsible for starting the war in Ukraine was on a gas tanker. We qualify what happened as an act of international terrorism and maritime piracy. You can't have piracy and terrorism when you're invading a country. That's just a war. That's just a war act. Of the fundamental norms of international maritime law, the minister said. It's like what you said with they try to assassinate a general. You're in the war with them. They didn't try to assassinate anyone. They're fighting a general. During the war. According to an advisory from Libya's Maritime Rescue Agency, the Arctic Metagaz sank in waters between Libya and Malta after catching fire on the 3rd of March. It warned vessels to avoid the site where the carrier sank and asked them to report any pollution in the area. Well, there's probably a bunch of liquid natural gas in the water. The Libyan port authority said the ship was carrying an estimated 62,000 metric tons of liquefied natural gas. I don't even know how much that is. How many football fields is that? On its way to Port Said, Egypt. Egypt's petroleum ministry has denied any connection with the tanker. The tanker is not listed under any contracts to supply or receive LNG cargoes to Egypt, the ministry said. Sounds like they're just smuggling illegal Russian gas to break sanctions to me. They were probably headed to Germany or something. You bastards. Germany is nowhere near any of this for anybody who doesn't know their geography. But there's my story on Putin crying on the National Theater. Oh, boo, we attacked the country and then they're attacking our stuff. Oh, I'm a victim. I can't believe they are fighting back. Or something.
Poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy.
I don't want to make him feel better. A nice prison cell in a gulag in Siberia. That'll cheer him up. I hear it does wonders. I hear Trotsky loved it. Anyway,
of course.
until they shot him. Anyway, let's have another spin. I don't know. Do you have a story? That was my sarcasm. I'll tell you.
All right, I'm just reading chat real quick because people are chatting, but they're just chatting to each other. And why can't I gift Mocha a sub? I don't know. But thank you for gifting, Lynn, thank you for gifting Z a sub. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
We accept bribes here too.
Yeah.
Very lucrative.
Where's my glasses?
Let's go to our next story, which is not about Russia crying on the global theater. Our next story is about some fun stuff, some education. We're going to learn something new today. How the Black Death caused the diversity of plants across Europe to plummet. This is from Vishwam Sankaran on The Independent. The sudden loss of nearly half of Europe's population between 1347 and 1353 due to the bubonic plague surprisingly led to a decline in plant diversity across the continent, a new study reveals. Until now, it was widely believed that environmental benefits follow large-scale population decline, as human activity is thought to be inherently damaging to biodiversity. Yeah, you'd think there's less humans, less trampling, less overusing of plants, but researchers previously held this sudden loss of life caused by the Black Death in medieval Europe led the abandonment of farms, villages, and fields, creating a massive historical rewilding event. However, a new analysis of fossil pollen records from across Europe tells a different story. As farmland was abandoned, traditional land management practices ceased, and forests spread, said Jonathan Gordon, an author of the study published in the journal Ecology Letters. So if you want to read the whole study, where are you going? Ecology Letters. Rather than driving an increase in plant biodiversity plummeted, said Dr. Gordon from the University of York's Leverhulme Center for Anthropocene Biodiversity. Anthropocene means human-based biodiversity. In the study, researchers examined plant diversity in the centuries before and after the Black Death, and found that biodiversity declined significantly in the 150 years following the pandemic. Scientists argue that many of the plant species valued today depend on long-term human disturbance, such as farming, grazing, and land clearance. The contemporary rewilding movement often promotes the withdrawal of human activity from landscapes to enable nature recovery. The findings challenge this idea that the richest ecosystems are found in landscapes untouched by humans, and may have been implications for modern conservation strategies. They imply that simply removing people does not automatically lead to healthier or more diverse ecosystems. I kind of have to agree with this, actually. If humans cause biodiversity to go down, the only solution seems to humans to proactively increase the biodiversity themselves, right? Because it was a man-made problem, it needs a man-made solution. Our work offers a more nuanced perspective on the relationship between humans and nature, said Chris Thomas, another author of the study. The research indicates that biodiversity and human land use do not have to be in conflict. In many cases, they actually depend on one another, said Dr. Thomas. Scientists call for a patchwork approach to maintain the many different types of biodiversity that have been associated with European ecosystems over the last few millennia. In this approach, areas are to maintain a mosaic of crops, woodlands, pastures, and ponds, and lakes, and so on, coexisting in the same landscape. This is similar to the idea of having a wild meadow garden. Instead of just planting grass in your yard, you actually plant different plants, different wild flowers, and you create this mosaic, right, of biodiversity yourself as a human being, instead of hoping it happens. Because sometimes it just won't happen, especially if a certain land area has been so over-consumed with different, what would I call it? Different pesticides and stuff, like things that kill stuff. It might still be in the ground. So the rewilding won't just work. You have to go in and make an effort to actually do it yourself. It is true that humans can go too far, and we can see that with extensive crop monocultures in overgrazed landscapes, but we have models where a good balance has been achieved between humans and biodiversity, Dr. Gordon said. For example, in the Iberian Dehesas Montandos, as well as the alpine pastures of Hungarian Tanya, we know it is possible. So there's your, I guess, kind of good news that we because we understand how biodiversity and humans work, we can come up with better plans on how to make sure that we re-wild Europe, because of course we talk about it all the time, right? The re-wilding project of Europe and the UK, trying to get those natural plants. Oh, you're standing up. I didn't know you're standing up.
Oh shit.
But you're sitting back down. There you are.
Yeah, thanks.
I did. We can work on biodiversitying our Europe again and keeping it back up with our own human understanding of it, I suppose. Good luck on your errands, Mocha. Thank you for lurking.
Okay, where the hell did everything go? All right, well, I don't have a lot of sarcasm about that. The bubonic plague, though, right? I mean, as plague goes, that was one of the worst ones. I wonder if they call it the Black Plague. Was there a Red Plague? Oh, yeah, there was. There was what? There was a Red Plague. My sarcasm.
I don't know. Maybe they weren't coughing up as much blood.
It was communism. The Red Plague and the Plague was communism. They warned us about. That's why we went to Vietnam and Korea. The Red Plague! Ah, the communists! Uh-huh. That's it. There you go. There's the Red Plague. Never materialized. It was never a thing. They decided that everybody that wanted civil rights was a communist. That's what it was.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not happy with the way the country is? You're
what?
You want to protest? You're a communist. Shut the fuck up, you fascist.
Our next segue is going to be an associate. And also, you did send me a video, right? I think I heard a message.
Yes, I did. It was about Christy Gnome. And
I will associate your story with something, anything I can think of.
The actual bullshit lie she told the Republican senator about Trump, and that's the one thing Trump cannot abide. I'm sorry, over that. It's National Dude Day. We know the dude will abide most things, but he won't abide that. I'm sorry, what was the spin? That's where I can write it down.
Associate.
No problem. Okay, we got two stories involving two different senators, but they're both from the same state. And that is a weird little thing that happened. Let's talk about... that's not even the story. Let's talk about the Marine getting assaulted, first of all. This is from Reuters.com. Ex-Marine injured while protesting Iran war. Vows to continue campaign for U.S. Senate. That's right. He is going to run for Senate. I hope he's running against this guy who assaulted him. Nope, he's running in North Carolina, but he ain't going to win. Because that's, Cooper's going to win that state. I'm just saying, he's the governor. He's going to win. I'm not sure what his policy is on Israel, but I really don't care. I don't really care. Anybody's policy is on Israel as long as they get rid of the Republicans. I mean, we'll worry about the other shit later. The most important thing is get rid of fascism to start with. Anywho, let's get back to this story. An ex-Marine was assaulted by a sitting United States senator who probably owes him a shitload of money now because that's not his job. Former Marine and Green Party candidate for U.S. Senate, North Carolina, Brian McGinnis was dragged out of a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing in Washington, D.C. yesterday. He was injured, appears to have broke his arm. If you watch the video, you hear something snap. It sounds like an arm snapping. And he was protesting Israel strikes on Iran. Vowed on Thursday to continue his campaign for U.S. Senate as a Green Party candidate in North Carolina. McGinnis, who's running North Carolina, was injured on Wednesday to struggle U.S. Capitol Police and Republican Senator Tim Sheehy. Again, not his job. Keep your hands to yourself there. Republicans have a problem keeping their hands to themselves. I've noticed that. During a Senate Armed Services Committee subcommittee hearing. Like, in fact, your job, Tim Sheehy, is just sit there and ask questions. That's your job. None of touching anybody, especially, actually, just don't touch anybody. Keep your hands to yourself. The Reuters Iran, that's a stupid ad. McGinnis interrupted the hearing by shouting, "Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight for Israel," he said. His arm was broken in the ensuing struggle. A video of the incident, verified by Reuters, showed officers dragging him out for raising his voice, I guess. He didn't attack anybody. He was dressed in his dress blues, his Marine dress blues. They dragged him out of the doorway, and his hand was pinned behind the open door.
Ooh.
No one wants to fight for Israel, McGinnis shouted as onlookers called attention to his hand, which was trapped in the hinge of the door when a cracking sound was heard.
No,
McGinnis faces charges. McGinnis faces charges for assault on a police officer. He didn't assault anybody. Yikes. What a police officer did he assault? Hawking is not assault. Holding onto a door is not assault.
He's lucky he didn't throw a sandwich at this guy.
Oh. Uh-huh. I'm just trying to figure out why the hell they're not even talking about the Veggie.
He might be dead right now if he actually assaulted this guy.
Okay, this story here is written by Reuters. They actually left out anything, the actual details of the thing. It's like, if you gotta watch the video because these guys just don't even tell you the whole thing, right? It's like, here's what happened. The police already had it under control. They were trying to get it out in a room. That senator decided it was his job to touch the guy. Not his job. Not his job, by the way. Not his job. If you're being arrested by the cops and a citizen comes along and decides that he's going to punch you in the head while they're doing that, you can sue him for everything he owns. It doesn't matter what law you broke. And let's hear this piece of shit Sheehy, who's unfortunately not up for re-election this year. But he should be taken out and beaten to a pulp. Let's see what McGinnis has to say. No one wants to fight for Israel. He also said in the X post, I've been running long before this, and yes, even after breaking my arm, standing up for what I believe in, it's only made me more determined. Anger is real, and so is resolve. Tensions have escalated. This is a massive military campaign against Iran, Operation Epstein Fury, plunging the Middle East into a new conflict.
Love that.
Let's get this piece of shit senator from Montana, which Montana has basically 75 people and 80 zillion cattle and sheep. That's their population. Nobody lives in Montana. It's a big empty state. So they got what they got. You know, there's a lot of states out there. They got no smart people. So that's what you end up with, apparently. Here's what this liar said. Capitol believes we're attempting to move an unhinged protester for the armed services hearing. He was fighting back. I decided to help him out and de-escalate the situation. I think I wet my pants. The gentleman came to the Capitol looking for a confrontation, and he got one. I hope he gets the help he needs without causing further violence. The only violence caused here was by this piece of shit. Okay, the only person causing violence was this so-called senator piece of shit assaulting a United States citizen, a Marine in uniform, because he doesn't like his politics. He's yelling at me. Yelling is not an assault. So many factual errors in that one post. Unhinged protesters helping? No. It was 2-on-1 and you made it 3-on-1. His hand was caught in a fucking door. That's why he wasn't leaving. His fucking hand was caught in a fucking door. This is assault, and this piece of shit, who somehow got in the Senate, I guess I know why, because it's Montana. Throw him out, Montana. Recall him. Have a recall election. He's a violent
Take him
criminal.
out to the square and break his arm over a door. I don't know.
Memorize his face. I'm going to memorize his face. I'm going to walk around Washington, D.C. If I see this guy on the street, I'm going to punch him in the nutsack.
Hell no.
What a coward.
People forget how easy it is to break something.
Punch a Nazi in the dick. Punch a Nazi in the dick. Punch Christy Gnome's dick. Punch Christy Gnome in the dick. I heard a comedian say that the other day.
Dear.
He said, man, Pam Bondi, she is so ugly I wouldn't fuck her with Christy Gnome's dick. That is so funny. Anyway.
That's a great joke.
Right? All right, so let's have us associate with this.
Do I have anything to
horrible
associate
Senate
this with?
Montana.
Sadly, I mean, I guess what I associate this with is, I think we've talked about this before on the show. Of course, you've talked about it because you've actually served in the military. But the one people, right? The one people that always have the right to protest are the people who actually serve the country, right? That's what your opinion on that is. Everyone else, like,
you have the right to protest.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Is everybody? I don't give a shit if you served in the military. First of all, you have the right to protest.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying I'm associating it with the idea, like the reason why this is doubly shittier than anything else is because this person actually, served in the military, did probably the thing you can do the most to prove your loyalty to a country is to serve the military, arguably.
Yeah, it really
and then
doesn't
this
prove
guy's
anything, like-
getting his arm broken by a senator who has zero patience, I guess. Why are you going into politics if you have zero patience for other people and their opinions? That's not being a politician.
Money.
That's being a fascist, right?
He's a Republican. He's there to make money. What are you talking about? I guarantee he made money. The last year, are you kidding me? These guys are sitting there insider trading like crazy. Did you know the price of petroleum started going up before we bombed Iran? What a coincidence. Oh, wow. I wonder why. Were people buying oil futures before the bombing, anticipating it? Ooh, I wonder if there was any insider trading there. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, we're bragging about the stock market. Just realize the stock market's a house of cards. And it's going to fall. It's going to collapse. And it's one of those house of cards that doesn't collapse from the bottom, too. It collapses from the people taking everything off the top. And you're sitting there trying to sell your stock at 40, and it's dropped to 30, and now it's at 20. Can't sell fast enough because they're beating you to it because they got the high-speed computers.
They've got the inside trading. That's
right.
Well, next story.
Exactly. The insider trading, the high-speed computers, they're ahead of you, and you only got to be ahead of a trader by a fraction of a second, and it's already too late. That's the way that works. So I'm looking forward to the stock market crashing because I'm going to laugh at all the people who thought their 401ks had them set up for life, and now they got nothing. So, sorry, you voted Republican. Let's have another story about another Montana idiot. This guy didn't assault anybody, but he assaulted our, intelligence. Yeah, he did. Assaulted our intelligence. This guy is the other senator from Montana. His name is Steve Daines, or Dave Staines. Let's call him Dave Staines because he reminds me of a stain. And the headline is from dailymontanan.com, with just minutes before filing deadline closes. Daines shocks Montana by withdrawing. Yeah, what a little scam he pulled. That's right. Just before this is from Micah Drew from themontanan.com. Cough, cough. Just minutes, literal minutes, before the closure of candidate filing in Montana, incumbent U.S. Steve Daines withdrew from his reelection campaign for his third term. Why did he do that? So, U.S. Attorney for Montana, Kurt Alme, filed for office at 4:52 p.m., and Daines endorsed Alme in a statement shortly thereafter, 8 minutes before the filing deadline. Oh my God. If you're in Montana and you saw this, you know what to do. Don't vote for this motherfucker. He's trying to appoint his own successor. It's a hell of a deal for a senator to try, right? I hope they're smarter than this in Montana. I hope they are. They've actually put a lot of Democrats in the Senate, John Tester for one. They actually had a Democratic governor. And I don't think there's any way this guy's going to win re-election. I don't think Kurt Alme has a chance in hell. U.S. Attorney for Montana? For Pam Bondi? Holy Christ. Can you imagine the skeletons in his closet already? Just a year full of skeletons. Serving the people of Montana, the U.S. House and U.S. Senate to start the year has been the greatest honor of my professional career, said this obvious fascist. And I'm grateful to God. Oh, he drags God into this. Leave God out of this. God does not talk about you every day, does he? Does he go around bragging about you? No, doesn't limit you at all. He goes to the fucking God Country Club with all his friends. Zeus is there, Thor, they're all there. He never mentions Daines, never mentions them once. But here you are dragging them into your problems. God did not have anything to do with you doing anything, dude. Anyway, after wrestling with this decision for months, I decided to not seek re-election. It was time for new leaders like Tim Sheehy. Oh, that's what leaders do. They assault people. Okay, anyway. I had to laugh. I'm sorry. His statement, name-checking the thug we just talked about, is hilarious. And prior to public service, I spent 20 years in the private sector. So what? What does that even fucking mean? I spent 20 years in the
I have no
private
idea.
sector. You know, I spent 60 years in the private sector. What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean? that from the time you were born? Or was that like the time you decided to be a politician? Anyway, whatever. Picking apart this idiot's words. While I found those years to be very rewarding, it didn't compare to the fulfillment I found in public service. Dude, I never heard of you until yesterday, so fuck off. I'm thankful to have served alongside Stinky and my colleagues in the Senate. Together we build a conservative, spearheaded Republican fascist nonsense, delivered the largest tax cut to the billionaires, unleashed fascism, kicking in doors in people's homes, arrested American citizens and thrown to countries they've never been before, enacted a plundered our natural resources, and basically made billionaires richer. There's his complete statement. I deciphered it for you for what he actually did.
Yep.
I'm essentially indebted to my exceptional staff, who I did not sexually harass, although there was many opportunities. No, he didn't say that.
Good job. Bar's low. The bar is low.
Raving fans.
Imagine if that actually said that in the quote.
I'm not reading this damn statement. He's thanking his family. And he does that. Let's get on to the Democratic guy who's running, or I think it's a woman running. Blah, blah, blah. This jackass who's taking his place, and the only person running in the frickin' Republican primary now is this jackass. The guy who did it 8 minutes before the filing deadline because he's the only one who knew that Dingleberry was resigning.
I am proud to announce my candidacy for the United States Senate to replace the great state of Montana. As a native Montanan, I have always
I can't even understand what they're saying, and I guess I'm okay with that.
Fighting for the safety and prosperity of every family in our state. Did I do okay, Daddy?
Said the all me in a statement. In a post on Truth Social, Sneaky does endorse this guy. Of course he did. He's the only damn Republican running now. He didn't have a chance to run anybody else. I mean, I'm serious. The people should be mad are Montana Republicans. I wanted to run. My cousin Dan wanted to run. Fuck. You gave us 8 minutes. You son of a bitch. Montana's senior Senate seat has been considered safely by analysts. Analysts can blow me. There's no safe seat out there. You can take your analysis and shove it. This is different this year. Anyway, Republicans, but within hours of Dane's announcement, at least one analyst moved the Senate into lean Republican instead of safe Republican. Yeah, it's the difference between having an incumbent. A lot of people, when they pick that ballot up, don't know shit. You think people, you would hope they're informed, but they're not. They see incumbent on there and they just vote for him. Why should I change? I'm happy. That's what they do. They don't even care. So you take away incumbent.
They just see the R and they press yes.
Evens everything. It evens the whole slate. Nobody knows who's the incumbent when they go in there because they're not smart. We assume voters are smart. We have so much proof to the contrary. In 2020, Danes won re-election by popular Democratic Governor Steve Bullock by 10 points. That's not a lot of points, actually, thinking about it. You said that's a strong Republican win. No, it's not. 10 points is only 55 to 45. It's a 5-point swing in one direction and it's even. That's it. It's a 5-point swing. That's all you need. And we've seen 20-point swings in 1 year in elections in 2025. So we can definitely see 20-point swings in any election, anywhere. And we're seeing it in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. Hello. So this ain't no locked in lead pipe cinch. I would say it leans blue at this point. And Montana's not a typical, like I said, typical red state. They've had
Montana is just like a weird. It's just a weird place in general, in its existence. How it exists.
Not a lot of people live there. So a wild card. It only takes one wild card to flip a whole piece, right? You change 100,000 votes. That's the whole entire electorate. You know, that's everybody that's voting this year. 100,000. That's it. That's all you got. Anyway, while there are many challenges to race across parties, blah 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 blah. Much attention has been paid to an independent bid by former University of Montana Seth Bodnar, who announced this morning. And Bodnar's campaign, he said, Steve Daines has so little respect for Montana Republicans that he withdrew at the last minute to coordinate his hand-picked successor instead of giving them a voice at the ballot box. This is disgusting arrogance of Washington politicians and our party bosses who try to trade power back and forth like candy while Montanans are crushed under higher costs and fewer opportunities. I'm ready to be an independent voice for every single Montana who's sick of broken political system and wants a leader who stands out, stayed against the corruption of political elites like Steve Daines and Kurt Alme. In a statement that we finally get to the Democrat at least a Democrat in a race. In a statement, Democratic candidate Riley Neal said Daines dropping out as an example of Montana GOP being in complete disarray. The Montana GOP has done nothing but bend the knee to stinky and has hurt our farmers and ranchers, and this is unacceptable. Daines, throughout his tenure, has completely ignored and voted against the working class, protected the billionaire class, and is stepping down opens a field for Montana's Senate. That's a good development for Montana. So let's go. Anybody but Daines. I'll take the independent. I'll take the Democrat. Anybody but Trumper.
Dave. Now that's
Daines,
a slogan.
Not Dave. Daines, not Dave.
Oh, sorry.
Dave. Sounds like nobody named Dave in this story. All right, there's your. That's it, man. That's my last two stories.
Yeah,
for the
you've
week.
run out of air, huh? Chrono says
Yeah,
that's what he meant by private sector. He actually meant the private sector.
Yeah. Yeah, when Republicans are talking about your privates, just cover them up. Just cover them up. Give yourself a chastity belt.
So
Chastity belts are going on sale now. Chastity belts and guillotines. I'm going to start selling those things. Something from the medieval times, you know?
Also, I don't think I look very different today, Curious Corvus. But maybe that was because you're looking at my dad and not me. That's hello, this is my dad for the podcast here. Okay. But there we go,
There's
I guess.
a blind guy that called me gorgeous once, but he was feeling the back of my head. So.
Are we even surprised at this point that, I don't know, the bar is so low for politicians. You have to be a decent human being and then you're like, wow, it's amazing! You know?
Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to figure out there's something devious about this. He waits till 8 minutes for the filing deadline. I'm out. And then his buddy's standing right next to him. I'm in. Oh, okay. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of somebody else running?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I have to actually have competition.
The guy that's running as an independent now, that's who he was afraid of.
I mean, that would be really fun to actually enforce competition in political voting instead of just like, oh, Steve's the only one on the ballot this time again, you know?
By the way, there's going to be an opening for senator in Oklahoma because Mark Wayne Mullen, plumber extraordinaire, has now been nominated as a Homeland Security Secretary. He'll get approved. He's about as qualified to be a Homeland Security Secretary as my plumber. And yeah, so.
My idea is that if there's only going to be one person on the ballot, then the election goes to a raffle, and whoever gets in there, good or bad, whatever, whoever.
Fortunately, for Oklahoma,
anymore.
the governor's going to appoint a senator.
I think
so
I'm just saying, right? That might make that will either make people actually agree, like for a competitive political run, or I guess people would just like default to the raffle. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are lazy enough to just default to the raffle, you know?
No. I want people that are qualified. I don't want a goddamn raffle. I want to vote for
Yeah, but
an
you're
actual
already
person
doing that. Because the only qualification is what, 35?
Yeah, I do that. That's a good system.
Yeah.
It's a good system. We should keep it. We should get rid of electoral college and keep a system that just says, hey, popular vote. And by the way, if we get 60 senators, which is, I don't rule it out. I mean, there was a time in 2009, the Democrats had 60 senators. It only lasted about a month or two because Ted Kennedy died.
Okay.
Ted Kennedy died, and then they put his seat up. 60 matters because they can't filibuster a 60 seat thing. And that's why Obamacare got passed. Yeah. And they had to wait, by the way, for Al Franken's election because that went to a runoff, and the sore loser kept calling for more runoffs. So Al Franken, I don't think, was seated until April. So they had a majority with Ted Kennedy and Al Franken, and then a month later or something like that, Ted Kennedy drops dead. There goes your 60 seats, and they went down to 59 after that.
He drops dead.
Because a Democrat got elected. So that's my little story about we can get 60 seats this year. Anyway, I don't know what the hell I'm going on about, but I'm done talking now, hopefully.
All right, let's go to our next segue for my culture news then.
We can watch Christy Gnome live tomorrow.
I was letting you talk because we're in an ad break, and I'd rather the ad break finish before we go.
Be sure to hit the like.
I accidentally clicked the wrong thing. That's awkward. It's not the end of the show yet. We're not done with the show yet.
No, okay. Let's do.
Did it even say what it rolled? Let me roll it again. It didn't even say what it rolled. I clicked the wrong thing and then it didn't roll.
Oh no. Nancy Reagan died on this day.
Bad pun. Not that we haven't been telling enough jokes today, but hey, more jokes. Let's go.
Bad puns. Okay. Ooh. Wow.
And welcome back from the ad break, everyone.
March
Let's go
6th.
to my story, which is coming out of BAFTAs. The big N-word controversy that happened in the BAFTAs. I think, was it last weekend or was it the weekend before? I don't know. It's been a long week. But we're going back to that story because Delroy Lindo has spoken about the event that happened. This is by Andrew Pulver on The Guardian. Sinners star Delroy Lindo has spoken in more detail about the N-word controversy at the BAFTAs, which saw the BBC and BAFTA apologize after a racial slur shouted by Tourette's syndrome activist John Davidson was broadcast on BBC One and in the edited highlights of the ceremony. Why they didn't mute it out or anything, I don't know. Lindo, who is nominated for Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role in the film Sinners, was speaking to Tanya Mosley on NPR's Fresh Air podcast and said that at first he didn't take in what happened as he took to the stage to present the award with fellow Sinners star Michael B. Jordan. You have to understand, we have jobs to do. We were the first presenters of the evening, and we had to read the teleprompter. There was a nanosecond, a nano of a nanosecond when I was thinking, wait, did I just hear what I thought I heard? But then it truly was a nanosecond. One had to read the teleprompter and get on with presenting the award. Lindo said he discussed the situation with Jordan, who says he has a similar response, adding, and we went on and did our jobs. How professional. In a statement to the UK Parliament's Culture, Media and Sports Committee, BBC Director General Tim Davies said that we understand the hurt and shock that the mistake caused, and that the slur should never have been broadcast. Davey added that the evidence gathered so far by the BBC indicated that Davidson shouted as Lindo's Sinner co-star Wunmi Mosaku received the Best Supporting Actress award. According to Davey, the second slur was removed immediately, but the edit team were unaware of the first one. How? It was at the beginning of the ceremony. And so believed mistakenly that instructions to remove slurs had been carried out. Davey also addressed the time it took to take down the broadcast from the BBC Eyes Players platform, saying that producers initially believed the slur was inaudible, and it wasn't until the following morning that the issue was reinvestigated, with the BBC's chief content officer Kate Phillips authorizing the show's deletion at the 11:47 a.m. Davidson was at the BAFTA ceremony as I Swear, a film inspired by his life story, was nominated for a number of awards. How very fitting that he did swear during the live broadcast. Just one of the worst ones, you know. He had apologized for a number of slurs he shouted during the event, including the one involving Lindo and Jordan, saying, "He can't begin to explain how upsetting and distraught I have been." Yeah, he feels bad. He's apologized. What else is he supposed to do? He has Tourette's. I did see some drama about this, which was the idea that why did they have a microphone near the guy who has Tourette's? There was I don't know how true that is or not, but there was an argument from social media somewhere that they literally had a microphone that was able to hear him. I think he was just yelling that loud, because usually, right, when people are presenting an award, you're quiet, right? You're not chatting away while somebody's going, and our nominees, you know? You want to hear what the nominees are. So I think he was just yelling that loud. I don't think he was tied up with a microphone, so people saying it's a big conspiracy, right? Oh my God, they put a microphone on him so that he could say the N-word and get one over on us or something. I have no idea. I don't think there's a conspiracy to to have some guy with Tourette's saying the N-word on live broadcast. There's no conspiracy, guys. In a Fresh Air interview, Lindo also discussed his background as a child of the Windrush generation immigrants in England, where he lived until immigrating as a teenager to Canada and then to the US. Lindo said, the people of Windrush changed the definition of what it means to be British. There are all these black and brown people, members of what used to be called the British Commonwealth, and they were invited by the British government to come to England.
You invaded all these countries!
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, they invaded all those countries. Sorry.
Yeah. So well, that's what I'm saying. They can't complain. They invited him over.
Yeah, they when you made India part of the British Empire, you didn't realize they were going to have 2 billion people one day, did you?
But they're what is called the British Commonwealth, and they're invited by the British government to come to England, the United Kingdom, to help rebuild the United Kingdom in the aftermath of the destruction of World War II. They helped rebuild the construction industry, transportation industry, critically, and the health industry, the National Health Service. My mom was a nurse. Previously, Lindo referred to the Bapt incident on, I guess it was Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, I guess it was last weekend.
Mom,
on the 1st of March, 2nd of March, at the Actor Awards, saying, "We appreciate all the support and love that we have been shown." In the immediate aftermath of the BAFTA incident, he told a journalist from Vanity Fair that he wished someone from BAFTA spoke to us afterwards. They didn't get any aftercare from BAFTA themselves, right? The BBC or somebody didn't say, "Hey guys, we're sorry that happened." They only got an apology from Davidson, who was the one shouting, but no apologies from the people running the show. Yeah.
Too bad you don't get one.
Yeah, I guess not. But there's my culture news, some updates on that. It sounds like they've taken it very in stride, or maybe they're just, what do you call it? They're not going to say how they really feel because they don't want to get any bad PR or something, right? They want everyone to focus on the Oscars, which are coming up, right? Sinners wants to win some Oscars, so they don't want to stir up too much drama, maybe. They still want to be eligible to win because, as we know, the Oscars are rigged. So...
The Oscars. Yeah. The Oscars is like, Adrian Brody. Let's give it to him. That's the Oscars. Ready for my pun, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, give me a pun about this story.
I hate it when people make fun of Tourette's syndrome. I really hate it. It really ticks me off. You want some more jokes? What do you call a cow with Tourette?
What do they call them?
What do you call a cow with Tourette? Beef jerky. What do kids with Tourette's and tall grass? What do kids with Tourette's and tall grass have in common?
They sway.
They both have tics. The worst thing about having Tourette's, people are always expecting you to say something. That one isn't funny. Here's the funny one. My wife got her test results back. We thought she had Tourette syndrome. Tests were negative. Turns out I am a cunt and she does want me to fuck off. Here's your story.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh my God. Yep, I don't have Tourette. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just being honest.
Fine line. All right,
All right, let's roll our last segue for this day in history. We've got
simple, because I got a lot of crap to cover for some reason.
Alliteration headline. Great, perfect. That's a perfect one for this day in history. So take it away. Tell us what's going on in history.
Renaissance, 1475 to this day, way after the plague, like 100 years after the plague. Artist Michelangelo, who exerted unparalleled influence. Anyway, he was born, if you don't know who Michelangelo is, I don't know what to tell you. He was born this day in the Republic of Florence, Italy, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. 1619, French satirist and dramatist Savinien Cernot de Bergerac, who was the basis of many romantic but unhistorical legends of Born in Paris. Yeah, he was a real, actual person.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no shit. He was an actual person. I don't know if he was in love with Roxanne and he had a big nose or any of that stuff, but there you go. He's a real person. 1820, U.S. President James Monroe signed the Missouri Compromise, which is a big mistake, which allowed Missouri to be admitted to the Union as a free state, which be alternated after that. It's also, the Missouri Compromise is also named for, I've covered this before, it's also named for a haircut, right? The mullet, as some people call it, also called the Missouri Compromise. So, the legislation marked the beginning of the sectional conflict over the extension of slavery that led to the American Civil War. The compromise should have said, we're done with slavery. It's a terrible system. This is the South to this day.
It's inhumane, it's cruel.
The reason they have a bad economy is because they subjugated their people. That's why you still have bad economies in the South. To this day, you have bad economies. 1834, Toronto, now the financial and commercial center of Canada, was incorporated. Happy birthday, Toronto! Go win another World Series. They can't get in the Stanley Cup, but they can get in the World Series, right? 1836, the Alamo in Texas fell to Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. After a 13-day siege, it was immortalized by the popular phrase, remember the Alamo. And if you're ever in San Antonio, Texas, go tour the Alamo. And after those 20 minutes are over, enjoy the rest of your day, because there ain't much to see. It really isn't. I was really disappointed. Oh my. No wonder Ozzy Osbourne took a piss on the side. That's one of those things, right? Ozzy got arrested in Texas for pissing on the Alamo. He had to piss. You don't think the people that died at the Alamo pissed on the wall at the Alamo? He was just adding to the ambiance. 1853, Giuseppe Verdi's opera La Traviata premiered in La Fenice Opera House in Venice. Fancy name. Wow, here's a long entry. 1859, U.S. Chief Justice Roger B. Taney. Here comes another terrible decision by the Supreme Court. Oh my God, these fucking people. Announced the Dred Scott decision, which ruled that an enslaved man who resided in a state where slavery was prohibited was not entitled to his freedom in a non-slave state. That African Americans could never be U.S. citizens, and that the Missouri Compromise was unconstitutional. Well, at least they declared the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional after 37 years, but they didn't ban slavery, and decided slaves are always property for the end of time, blah, 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 blah. Roger B. Taney, I hope somebody beat him to death. I really do. What a pile of shit. The decision was widely agreed, particularly among constitutional scholars, to one of the worst decisions ever rendered by the Supreme Court. That goes without saying. Well, you're not really a person. Go fuck yourself, Roger B. Taney. I hope he's being tortured in hell. I really do. If there's a hell, I hope he's there. What a pile of shit. Roger B. Taney, you're not a real person. How about that?
Oh,
fucker?
Damn.
1899. What a piece of shit. One of your pieces of shit in history. Of course, all of the Supreme Court were all pieces of shit because somebody else had the team with him. He couldn't decide it by himself. But hey, he was in charge. 1899, a German company, Bayer, trademarked the name for aspirin, salicylic acid is what it's actually called, for its analgesic pain relieving acetylsalicylic acid. Acetylsalicylic acid. Can you say that? Acetylsalicylic acid. Bayer also trademarked heroin at the same time. Let's not forget that. Heroin might have come before aspirin. So yeah, they had you. Johnny's having trouble sleeping? Yeah, we got something for that. Bayer Pharmaceutical, getting Johnny hooked on smack since 1892. 1924, the Egyptian government opened the mummy case of King Tutankhamun. I think I discovered it a week before, like last week you mentioned this, and it took them a week to open it. This is weird. But it says March 6th. I mean, they opened Tutankhamun, the king of Egypt. He was the ruler in 14th century BC. His burial chamber had been discovered in 1922, so it was 2 years after Howard Carter. That wasn't the same year, but it was later, and I believe was in February of 22. 1927, Gabriel Garcia Marquez Garcia Marquez is a man who won a Nobel Prize for Literature's novel Cien Años de Soledad, one of 100 Years of Solitude, was born in Antarctica. I'm sorry, not Antarctica. Nobody's born in Antarctica. He was born in Aracataca, Colombia. Aracataca, a lot of A's in that word. So Marquez, I read one of his books. I think it was called The Very Old Man with Wings, something like that. I've read his works. 1957, Ghana became an independent nation led by Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah. 1964, boxer Cassius Clay took the name Muhammad Ali, which was given him to the spiritual mentor Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam. So, happy new identity, Muhammad Ali. 1981, journalist Walter Cronkite, known as the most trusted man in America, signed off. Journalist Walter Cronkite, who is known as the most trusted man in America, signed off as longtime anchor of CBS News. That same year, President Jimmy Carter awarded Cronkite the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's why Walter Cronkite impersonation. 1986, George O'Keeffe. I'm gonna guess she died. Yes, she did.
I'm gonna
New
guess
Mexico
he's dead.
artist
Yes,
George
he is.
O'Keeffe died at the age of 98 on this day in 1986. She's well known for her works including large format paintings, natural forms, especially flowers and bones. She helped establish a new and significant space for female artists in a realm that continues to be dominated by men. And yes, what you're looking at is a vagina. 2016, Nancy Reagan, who was First Lady during the 1980-89 administration of her husband, Ronnie, was noted for, anyway, she died on this day. So, hey, it was a day for people to die. A lot of people died on this day. George O'Keeffe died, Nancy Reagan died on March 6th. I like how they airbrushed this picture to make Nancy Reagan look like she was 20. It's just amazing.
Here we
amazing
go.
Complexion
Take this
for her,
and like it.
right? Wow. What a perfect complexion she had for an old woman. Wow. Let's airbrush everybody and make them look perfect. That's just what they do to Jesus, right? Jesus has been airbrushed out to be a white guy. Our featured event, 1869, Dmitry Mendeleev's periodic table is first presented. Some guy decided to do the periodic table of all the elements. Here's a long write-up. On this day in 1869, Dmitry Mendeleev's paper, The Dependence Between the Properties of Atomic Weights and Elements, presented to the Russian Chemical Society, was the first to show a periodic table organized horizontally, vertically in element properties. 60 elements were known at the time, but they had not been organized successfully. Notice the periodic table burdens the left gaps for elements have not been discovered. Yes, we haven't discovered any of these elements. Let's go find them.
Yeah, good job.
Although this table did not initially receive widespread attention, the discovery of predicted elements, gallium, scandium, germanium, and his periodic table widespread acceptance. There's a song about the periodic tables. We should play
Really?
that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's written by. It's a really good song.
I forget his name right now.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of
But there's an
comic
actor.
songs.
The actor who played Harry Potter.
No,
I can't think of his name right now. He can do the rap from that.
He was
periodic
a
table
radio
rap.
personality.
Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe. He
No,
can
no,
do
no.
the.
I'm
He
talking
can do
about an
that.
old-timey guy. I'm not talking about the old. I'm not talking about some recent dude. I'm talking about a guy who's been dead for years.
Oh, okay.
Think of his name. Oh boy, who sang it? No, I'll give you.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I know his name. I know what his name is. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Well, we're never gonna get to it. He didn't write it. I guess he just Tom Lehrer. Yeah, there you go. The Elements, written 1959 by Tom Lehrer. Maybe I'll play that video someday. But anyway, he put all the elements in one song. Real easy to remember, theoretically. Nope, not really. Okay, National Day. Oh, you didn't get to our feature. March 6th. Our feature biography is Valentina Tereshkova. She was the first woman in space. March 6, 1937. She was born, and she's still around. She's 89. She was born in Kosovo, Russia. Our featured event today, 1508. Humayun, Mughal emperor, born in 1508. Alan Greenspan, is he still around? turning 100 today. Happy
I
birthday.
don't think
Chair
the
of
likelihood
Federal
is very
Reserve.
low, I think. If
I
he's
think
still
he's
around.
I think he's still around. I have not heard of him dying.
It doesn't have his
He's
dying
been
date on
married.
there, I guess, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. I think I would have heard him dying and it just slipped through the crack. Is Alan Greenspan alive? That's my question. All right, there you go. I think you can all do this at home. Play the home game if you're keeping score, or if you're just along. Yes, he's still alive. Happy 100.
Wow,
Hey, you gotta cheers.
congratulations.
I mean,
Well,
I
my
don't know if he's on the
condolences for
Epstein
being
list,
alive
but,
through all of this bullshit.
I know he's married to. He's married to Andrea Mitchell, who was an NBC reporter. I don't know. I think she retired, and she's like 30 years younger. How old is Andrea Mitchell?
We're getting off on a tangent here in this day in history.
No, I'm just saying. How bad is this guy robbing the cradle? Is what I want to know. She's 79, so it's only 21 years.
Okay.
It's not that flagrant. It's not like she's a spring
It
chicken.
doesn't really matter
Or
anymore.
a chicken of any sort.
Once you're
I
100,
know,
who
I'm just saying,
cares?
he's
Date
100.
whoever you want. You're barely functioning. Well, except for children, obviously. Date any adult
You could put a
want.
table lamp in the room. At this point, you put a table lamp in a room and he's thinking he's having a conversation with a human, right? So, hey, 100, happy birthday, Alan Greenspan. Made it to 100, man. It's a freaking accomplishment.
Why are you
swear.
so
That's-
funny today?
Of all the accomplishments in life. We already did Marquez, the writer. It's Marion Barry, speaking of politicians. He passed away, you know that, former mayor of D.C., Marion Barry, born in 1936. He would be 90. It's Shaq's birthday. Shaquille O'Neal turning 54 today. Shaq, 54. The biggest human being you'll probably ever see in your life. Not only is he tall, he's really, really wide. So, yeah. And those are your anniversaries and birthdays. National Day Calendar. It's National Employee Appreciation Day, and you better put that on a Friday. So, all across America at 12 o'clock, pizza parties!
Woohoo, pizza party!
Corporations are cheap as hell. That's the only fringe benefit you're getting this year, so make sure you get 2 slices. It's
2
the day of the
slices, wow.
dude, the day of the
That's
dude.
so worth working
Shut
at
the fuck
this
up, Donnie!
job.
Sorry, that was my Tourette's. That was my. I'm sorry, that was my Big Lebowski Tourette's. Day of the dude abides. It is the day of the dude, and there's a guy in a picture who's doing this. He's just on a collie. That's going to be me in about 15 minutes. So, Day of the Dude, Friday, March 6th. It's also National Spray Tanning Day. Looking at you, Trumpy boy. Get that spray tan. Cover up all those marks all over that ugly grill of yours. National Dress in Blue Day. If you're a Marine, you're already doing that, right? Dress
Hey.
blues. If you're in the Navy, you wear blue all the time, too. The Navy wears blue all the time. Marines, well, we wear green, but when we're dressing up, being a parade, yeah, we get that dress blue in the hat, and then a senator comes along and breaks your arm. But hey, you take the good with the bad, and of course, you can sue that motherfucker for assaulting you. National Speech and Debate Education Day. I love having a good debate, but unfortunately these days, the people I disagree with seem to just want to insult you or ask you what a woman is.
Ugh.
Oh, good, a non sequitur about nothing. You know, it's like, you know what you reply? What do you reply when somebody asks you in an argument? What's a woman? What do you reply?
Me? What do I reply? I don't even talk
Yeah.
to those people.
Good. Oh, anyway. Oh, okay.
I don't even.
What
I don't give them
reply
even a
is-
second of my thoughts.
By the way, it's a lot of damn things today. I'm not even close to being done. It's
Yeah.
National Dentist Day. I have no idea why you want to favor those guys. Look, man, you got a career where you stick your fingers in people's mouth and they hate you. You make a lot of money, just be happy, okay? National Dentist Day. National Frozen Food Day. Freeze your food, it lasts longer. It's easier to freeze it in the winter, too. National White Chocolate Cheesecake. White chocolate has nothing to do with chocolate as far as I'm concerned. So, but it's in cheesecake, so it can't be bad. It's going to be great because it's cheesecake. It's National Dress Day. It's National Oreo Cookie Day. All of those damn things. You believe all this crap they laid on us this day? Unbelievable. It's all those things for today. Yikes. So that's it. That's everything for today. Friday, March 6th, 2026. On before frozen food, white chocolate cheesecake, Oreo cookies.
White chocolate, the worst chocolate. I'll die on that hill.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, but if you put it in the cheesecake, that'll make up for any,
Maybe you won't even notice it because cheesecake's already pretty white, I guess.
Yeah, there's really no way to ruin cheesecake unless you like put dog shit in it or something.
Yeah,
I mean, even then, I might try it. Anyway,
our next.
Those are your 1, 2, 3.
I have let's go with 3.5
things today.
Alliteration headlines for you. My first one. Dynamic Dimitri deftly debuted his dazzling dramatic demonstrating delightful dancing denominations.
Jeez, man. What is that, 15?
Next is Shaquille's sensational slams and spectacular stature stunned spectators and solidified his status.
Okay, then. It's just happy birthday to him. You got more?
Yes, here's my 1.5 alliteration because I kind of cheated here. Seekers of serenity sashay into a sensational celebration of soothing simplicity, sipping White Russians. Letting life lazily linger like a languid lane in the lap of leisure. See, it's like I put two together. There's just so many words to describe the dude. You gotta use all of the words.
Yeah, I speak dude. I fluent in dude. I know you know his name for a White Russian. You know what his name for a White Russian is, right? But he calls it a Caucasian. He doesn't call it a White Russian. He calls it a Caucasian. That's the dude's lingo, right? There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, hook me up with a Caucasian, he says. Anyway, everything.
Okay, in this day on the international.
Find how many White Russians we drank.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
In our international days of observances for the United Nations, we've got International Women's Day on Sunday, the 8th of March. So make sure to celebrate women every day. Don't wait until the 8th of March. You literally wouldn't be here without women. They carry you for 9 months and then they birth you. Whether it's through C-section and through natural birth, right? I don't know why we have to why it's so hard to strangle that out of some people, right? Oh, women don't do anything special. Are you serious, dude? So anyways, let's see what the UN has to say about women. The UN has to say rights, justice, action for all women and girls. And that includes trans women on my docket. Women have only 64% of the legal rights that men do worldwide. So that's of the whole earth. If progress continues at its current pace, it will take 286 years to close legal protection gaps. In many countries, the laws that allow for early and child marriage, which erode the full potential of about 12 million girls annually. How are you supposed to ever get women's rights if you never even become a woman to begin with? Your rights are taken away through child marriage. So justice, break down those barriers, get equity and equality, destroy discrimination, get stronger legal protections, and remove harmful practices and social norms that erode the rights of girls and women. On Sunday, fight for that on Sunday. Go to a women's march or something. And I think that's it. We are done with our Friday news dump. Thank you everyone who was here for, and also Almond says she did have her work bonus. They already got sent something, which was really nice. And so that's fun. There you go. Celebrate some work bonuses. I wish I could get a work bonus. My work bonus is, I don't know. Oh, you're muted. I think you're coughing, so you're muted.
Sorry, I had the cough button on.
Yeah.
I had the cough button on. No, I was reminded of my last job where I got a Christmas bonus. I've covered this before. $100 bill.
Oh, boy.
I got to my desk and there's a envelope and I open it up. It's a Christmas card inside. It's $100 bill for Christmas. Merry Christmas. And one of the guys at work goes, "Don't worry. They're going to take it out of your next paycheck."
Let me have some holiday cheer. God damn.
So basically, here's $100 I was not going to spend, right? Because I was not going to have $100 cash for any reason whatsoever. And now I either got to put it in a bank or spend it. And I was not going to spend this $100. Okay? So now I got to carry around a bunch of fucking cash because you got to break $100 bill somewhere.
Yeah.
You break 100? No, we don't take it. Big bills that big. So when you get that $100 bill, you pay for something, and then you got like whatever's left. You've already spent money you weren't going to spend to begin with.
Yeah.
And then when you get your paycheck, you're $100 short. How is that anything anybody wants? So yeah, I was right to quit that. I was going to quit him that day. I was already ready to quit. I've
just
that
been
job
fine
by then,
not
and
knowing. You know, why did that guy have to ruin it? I would have been fine being naive and oblivious to that fact. Yeah.
It would have been nice if I would have gone to Oregon and experienced a lot of good things with a lot of intelligent people.
True. That's true.
But my experience was the exact opposite. I met a lot of really fucking selfish assholes and a lot of dumbasses that thought they were smart. The worst people in the world, the people that won't admit they're wrong, won't admit they make a mistake. And you got to find their mistakes. Yeah, forget that. I ain't doing it. That was a horrible place to work.
Anyways, let's end the show. This has been Allison here from the Netherlands. Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. He's free from Oregon now. As we tie off another week, our first week of March has gone through the books. We will see you on the next week on Mucking Fun Day to give you all the news you may have missed over the weekend. So don't worry about the news. Don't even look at it. Don't doom scroll. Just, I don't know. Whatever hobby you have, do that for 2 days straight. We will see you after that. Thank you, everyone. Oh, wait. Don't forget to subscribe to the Before Coffee podcast channel on YouTube because we really need that particular platform to grow more. So if you're not subscribed, please just subscribe. You don't even have to watch us. We just need more subscribers so that YouTube can push us forward into the algorithm. Thank you, everyone who's already subscribed, already following, and our Patreons supporting Before Coffee as well. And here is our celebratory... our meme-fied Christy Gnome mic drop moment. I don't know what to say about this woman. Too much. I don't want to talk about her anymore after this.
Have you started it yet?
$220 million running television advertisements that feature you prominently.
This guy, John Kennedy, is...
Sir, the president tasked me with getting the message out to the country and to other countries where we were seeing the invasion
This is when she lied.
with putting commercials out that told them that if they were in this country illegally, that they needed to leave, or we would detain them and remove them, and they'd not get the chance to come back to America the right way.
That's her
That has
husband.
been extremely effective.
What she sounded like until now.
See her husband back there?
To run
The
the
guy's blinking.
advertisements, is that right?
We had
Yeah,
that
that
conversation,
poor
yes,
bastard.
before
He's gonna
I
sit
was
there and all
put in
these
this
questions
position
about her
and sworn in
fucking
and
Corey
confirmed,
Lindowski.
and since then as well.
Why is she even? Why is he
Look at
even
his
there? I
face.
guess because he's related.
Did you bid out those
Okay.
service contracts?
Yes, they did. They
husband?
went out to a competitive bid, and career officials at the
Because it's her
department
husband?
chose
Oh,
who would do those advertising commercials.
And the people that you ended up
Typically
picking
bring a spouse to this thing.
were people
support.
who had formerly done your political work back in South Dakota. Is that right?
Oh,
No, that's
really?
not correct, sir.
I think it is.
No, it's not, sir. The individuals
think it
who,
is.
It takes him a while.
I believe the careers
him a while
who
to-
they chose
Hook, line, and
Condescending
sinker.
were two different
question.
media firms.
He's setting
There's
a
been
perjury
conversation
trap
about their
for her, too, right?
subcontractors,
Yeah.
'Cause he
but
knows
we have
that
no
funding is
legal
approved by the
authority to look
president.
into subcontractors on work like that.
Okay. And you're saying that you're testifying that President Trump approved this ahead of time. Is that my understanding?
We had conversations about making sure that we were telling
She
people
thinks
I'm
she's
asking
getting the
you,
softball
sorry to
questions from this
interrupt,
guy, unfortunately for her.
The president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million
That's a lot.
running
That's
TV
like a
ads
film.
across the country in which you are
you know, that's
featured
a film
prominently.
budget.
Yes,
The
sir. We
president-
went through the legal processes, did it
Did the
correctly,
president
worked
know
with
you were gonna do
OMB.
this?
No.
Yes,
He did.
yes.
Right.
Okay.
Buying ad time,
Um,
too. Don't forget that. It
And one
costs
thing,
a lot.
Senator, I think would be helpful to know is how effective that communications has been. That
Well, they were
overwhelmingly,
effective in your name recognition. I mean,
I don't think I've
I
ever heard her
personally
talk so much.
just-
She's really
I mean, to
unattractive
me,
as
it
a
puts the
person.
president in a terribly awkward
I'm
spot.
like I
Why
said
did she
at
do
the
that to
beginning
her?
of this
And
video. I'm so glad I've
And
never
I just-
heard her
I'm not
voice
saying
until
you're
now,
not telling
right?
the truth. It's just hard for me to believe.
This
Why
is the
do
first time I've
rich
ever
white
seen
women
it.
do that?
As I do, that
I don't know. I'm
said,
not. I'm
Mr.
not a
President,
rich or white woman.
here's some ads
I'm only
I
half
cut,
white.
and I'm
So
going to spend $220 million running them.
And I was born
that
with
he
big
would have
lips.
agreed
Not
to
exactly a
that.
treat.
I don't think Russ Vogt
Yeah, that's probably why I'm always
at
spilling
OMB
food on
would
my
have agreed
clothes.
to that. It's something we have to defend. I'm on the Appropriations Committee.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's really
my
bringing
research
his
shows
personal
that you did
perspective
not
here. Huh?
bid them out. That
No.
in fact, one
He's
of the
telling
people
this
you
woman
picked,
that there's an actual
the
procedure
strategy
for
group,
bidding contracts, not just
Safe America
Giving it to your
Media was
friends
a
that
company
you totally aren't your friends.
formed 11 days before
and then
you picked them.
getting
and
Corey
the
Lindowski to
strategy
approve
group
her
got
too.
most
He's
of the
nobody.
money, and
He's not a
the head of
president.
that is married to your former spokesperson. I'm
That strategy
look,
group.
we all
Yeah, there's
have
a lot of
friends who are
connections
qualified.
here.
I'm not quibbling with that. I'm just, it troubles me.
Yeah, the guy who started this
a fifth to a quarter of
media
$1
company is
billion
married to his, her former
taxpayer money.
spokesperson.
When we're
Self-dealing.
scratching for every penny and we're fighting over rescission packages,
There's
I
like,
just can't agree with Madam Secretary. Are you still running those ads?
Like, can you
Senator,
hear
I
that this
did
is
not
bad,
have
what you
anything to
did?
do with picking those contractors.
She doesn't
I
care,
know politicals
man.
at the
She's
Department
looking
of
forward to
Homeland
that
Security
pardon.
did.
I understand. Are you
Career
still running
officials
those
followed
ads?
the competitive
Here we
bid
go.
process. For
Are you
that.
still running
Everything
those
That
was.
doesn't matter.
I think the ads are due to end here in March.
It
I
doesn't
think
matter
within
who
a
picked
week.
the
So I'm
contractor.
not
contractors.
sure.
Who
the-
approved it?
The one that is running is focusing on angel families. Have you seen that? It is the one that's talking about this is our
Anyway,
why.
that's her
This is
using
why we
government
work
money to
every
make her
day.
own
It's
political
for the
ad.
angel
I've gotta
families
move
and their
on.
Try to run
victims
for
that they
president.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.